is Ms. DB, and I want to show you how to do some of the transformations for the project in week 16. So when you get to Geogebra, you might see the algebra option, and there might be a grid here, or if you click on tools, it might just be a blank screen. To see the axes, we're going to go to show axes. Now the X and Y axis is shown. And I also want to, under show grid, I'm going to show the major and minor grid lines so that I get a nice coordinate system. And I'm also going to snap to grid so that my points are going to go to like 1, 1 instead of 0.99, 0.93 or something. So when you have this so that you can see everything, I'm going to just move this around a little bit. We're going to start by making a pre-image, and you might want to do that in the first quadrant. You don't have to. And to do that, I'm going to find the segment tool. So not all of the options that you have are available when you first come in here. You might have to click more, but you should be able to see a segment tool somewhere. And some of yours might look a little different. The basic tools might show segment up here, and that's fine. You can use that then. Mine is going to be under the lines menu. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to create a picture. And it's up to you, but there has to be some detail, like you don't want to just do a square. I'll just make a, maybe I'll make like a house. So I'm going to create my house. Maybe I'll come over here and make a little doorway up. Whoops, yeah, that went. And then I don't know what I did. Oh, there it's back. Okay. This is my garage door. So I'm just clicking around until I have my my house made. And then I'll add a little window up here. I don't like my window because the points are bad, so I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to delete. I'm going to select this and this and delete it. I didn't like that because my points were not nice, even numbered points. I can check the point values by going to the algebra, and it'll show you my points. And I can see that most of them are nice, neat points. Not all, though. So you might want to be watching that as you go. My points definitely got off somewhere around here. So you might even decide, okay, I'm going to delete some more of these points because I can see that the point values got really crazy, and it's going to be really hard to name what those points are when I do my... I'm going to delete this point too. Okay, so on my A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I have to go back to my segment tool and finish this up. I think for the sake of this, I'm just going to go connect it to, I'm going to make it a little simpler here. H, and then from H to I, and then from I to J, and from J down to K, and then back to A. Okay, so there's my my figure, and now what you want to do is reflect it, and then you want to go back to the original figure and rotate it, and then you want to take your original figure and translate it by a vector. So first we'll do reflection. You don't have to do it in this order, but you can. You can either reflect about the x-axis or the y-axis, but you have to tell Geogebra what line you want to reflect over, so we need to add a line. So I'm going to go to line. Actually, at this point, you may want to label your coordinates. And you can do that. I'm looking for a display option. I wanted to see if I could display them on the screen. It might be in the algebra tool. Oh, maybe it's here. Show hide label. So if I select my objects, oh, that just hit it. So that's not what I wanted to do. That just hid the letter A. I wanted to show the coordinates of the object. So here's A, here's B, here's C, here's D, here's E, F, G, H. How far did it go? Oh, I is bad. See my point I? So I might fix I and J and K. None of those are nice, neat points. So I might go into my tool, or you know what, even from here, let's change I to 6, 7. And now my point is exactly at 6, 7. And for J, I'm going to change this to 5, 7. 5, 7. Oops, that was wrong. What should it be? 5, 6. 6, 7 is here. There, now it's right. And then what was my last point? K, I'm going to change that to 5, 6 because this is crazy looking. I don't want to write that down on my worksheet. So this point would be 5, 6. There. So now when I record my points, they will all be nice integer points. So when you, on your table, and you look for your points, that's what they all are now. And that's going to make the translated points be better too. There. Now it's right. Okay, so now going back to the tools menu, I am going to, as I was saying, I was going to reflect this. I'm going to reflect it over the x-axis. So I need to add a line on my x-axis. Just draw it right on top of it. So it's line LM. And now I'm going to reflect this over the line. So I'm going to keep going until I find the transform. And if you don't see it, click on the more button and transform reflect about a line. So to do this, it says select object to reflect, then the line of reflection. So I'm going to go to the edit menu and select my house. It's all selected now. And then I'm going to click on the line. And it didn't work. Okay, I'm going to change the order. I'm going to choose the I'm going to select my object first this time. Draw a line over it, or I mean a box around it. And then I'm going to go to the transform, reflect about a line, and then click on the line. Yes, that one worked. Okay, so pick the object first, then reflect about a line, and then click on the line. Okay, now to rotate my figure, I want to go back to my original figure, and I'm going to rotate it about a point. I want to rotate about the origin, but I don't have a point there yet. So I need to put a point at 0, 0. Okay, now I'm going to select my object, my house, my original pre-image, not the reflected one, and then I'm going to go down to transform, and I'm going to rotate about a point. And now I need to choose the point I want to rotate. And now I want to rotate this. If I rotate it 90 degrees, it'll be over here. If I rotate it 180, it'll be down here. Let's rotate it 90. So it'll kind of turn sideways, but that'll look kind of cool. And there it is. So it rotated it 90 degrees about the origin. And if I click on my algebra, I'll see the points of my reflection. That's A prime, B prime, and so on. And then the next A prime that I see will be the rotation. Here's the rotation points. So you can use these to fill in your table. Okay, now I'm going to go back to tools. I'm going to do the last one is to translate about a vector. So I need to decide how do I want to translate my pre-image. I'm going to say I want to go down a bunch, like maybe down 10, and then I also want to go to the left. So I'm going to draw a vector where I start here. There's a vector. Here's vector. I want to start at 0, 0. I want to go down 10. And then I want to go to the right like 20 a lot. Because what that'll do is change my house. It'll move it down 10 and over to the left 20. So now I go back to select an object. And I select my pre-image. And then I'm going to go to transform, translate by a vector. And the house is already selected, but I need to select the vector. And it moved it down 10 and to the left 20, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. And I could, if I decide I wanted to go maybe 15 down instead of 20 down, I think I can change my vector and it'll move with it. So if I decided I want to go 15 down and 20 to the left so it shows up a little better, then I can do that. You can also hide the vector if you want, right here. If you don't want that to show up in your picture. It only kind of sort of hid it. It didn't hide it completely, which is fine, but it grayed it out a little bit. So that's up to you. So I think I have all of the parts done. So then again, you would have to go back to your algebra tools to find all the points, or you could find them by hand. And remember that first it did the reflection, and then it did the rotation, and then it did the translate by a vector. So if you go all the way down, these points are the translated by a vector points. And you would fill in the table, and then you can take a picture of this, and when you take your picture, you can write what you did for each of these parts, or you can write that on the table. Like if I were to take a snip of this, I could then, on my snip, there's some pencil tools, and I could write that this is the, I don't think I grabbed it. Oh, maybe I just can't write with my hand. I have to use the mouse. So I would write that this was the pre-image. It's hard for me to draw with my mouse, but, and then I would say this was a reflection about the x-axis. You get the idea. And then this was the rotation, 90 degrees about the origin, and then this was a translation by the vector. The vector was, we went left 20. So the horizontal part goes first, and I went down 15. So you'd say a translation about that vector. And that's it. So thanks very much, and let me know if you have anything you have questions on, or if you get stuck, I'll help you out. Have a great day.